Alright fellas, what's happening? And welcome to the Action Movie channel. Around here we're dealing with testosterone, martial arts, action, you name it. Which actually leaves us to the subject of the day, which is, yes, a new action film that just came out at the movies with Jason Statham. And yes, as the thumbnail said, no spoilers, cause I hate that stuff. Cause most of you probably haven't seen the movie yet, and you probably will at some point. So the last thing you need is for some schmuck on the web to give everything away. Jason plays a working man, which is of course the name of the film. Now he's teaming up with the same director from the movie The Beekeeper that they did last year, which turned out to be a very surprising hit. I don't know if you guys have seen it yet, but The Beekeeper was actually really a cool, fun film, which included lots and lots of dead guys, mostly bad guys, mostly. And I just checked out A Working Man, which is also why I'm doing this video, and yes, I had a lot of fun watching it. Now, mostly here on the channel, I prefer to talk about action movies from the 80s and 90s, since back in those days they did a ton of kick-butt action films that totally delivered. Cheesy? Yeah, sure, why not, but a lot of fun. And unfortunately, in my mind, in the last couple of decades, Hollywood has just not been delivering in the action genre, where it's like a one-man army, kind of like Rambo. Yes, there are a few exceptions here and there. Jason Statham is probably maybe the biggest action star today, I'm guessing. And he totally can pull off this whole idea of beating up 5 or 10 guys. And you actually believe in, well, most of it. Acting-wise, he's very sharp, and I think he's becoming better and better. And the good thing about Jason is that you believe in him. He looks tough, he acts tough and mean, and he's a guy that you don't want to fuck with. He kind of got this Stallone on a mission, or back in the 90s when Steven Seagal walked into a bar to try to piss people off. You probably would be better off not engaging.
Anybody seen Richie? Huh?
So I like Jason in action films because he can totally pull it off. Now, of course, we cannot talk about modern day one-army heroes without talking about John Wick, that in the last decade has killed off something like 500 people in 4 movies. But for some reason, Hollywood just decides to not really want to go down that path. So when they finally do, like in this case with A Working Man, I think it's awesome, and I think it's time to get the popcorn ready. Alright, so what's the plot of the film? Jason Statham plays Levin Cade, a man that has left his profession behind him to go straight and work in construction. He wants to live a simple life and be a good father to his daughter, but when his boss's teenage daughter Jenny vanishes, he's called upon to re-employ the skills that made him a legendary figure in the shadowy world of Black Ops. His hunt for the missing college student takes him deep into the heart of a sinister criminal conspiracy, creating a chain reaction that will threaten his new way of life. And yes, now since Jason has to show off his moves in this film, the bad guys needs to be extremely evil. That also means that young Jenny is not just kidnapped or sort of gone missing, but she also disappears into the world of trafficking of young women. You know what happens to bad guys behind something like that, right? Remember what Rambo did? Now, of course, we've seen this trafficking of women in so many other movies like Taken and Rambo 5 Last Blood. But I honestly don't think that hurts, because it's something that sadly enough is going on all over the world, including in the West as well. So nobody's safe. So even though this is just a movie and fiction, it's still nice to have a hero that can step in and kick some ass and do what we, the audience, would wish that sometimes we could do. And of course, yes, and that's what Jason comes in. Okay, now maybe you're recognizing this bad guy. Where have you seen him before? Well, exactly 20 years ago, he also appeared with Jason in Transported 2. And what did Jason do back then? The same as he's doing now. He fucked him up good. Okay, so what exactly is it that makes Jason Statham so good in action films? Well, it's not just his tough look, even though that doesn't hurt. It's also his background in fighting. Jason has studied so many different things. He's very skilled in different martial arts like Wing Chun, Kung Fu, Karate, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, but to me it looks like in the movies that he prefers kickboxing as his primary fighting style. Probably because it's very powerful and looks really good on film. And no, that does not mean that that's the only thing that he does. I know some folks will say, wait a minute, in this movie he did Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and this one he did blah blah. Yeah, I get that. That's not what I'm saying. It also depends on the character that he's playing. He has also portrayed guys that was more like an average kind of dude, that maybe didn't have any fighting experience. Jason is also among the elite actors who actually dare to do their own death-defying stunts. In this category you can also find Tom Cruise, Jackie Chan and Keanu Reeves. Now personally, I really liked the film. I thought it was cool. It delivered exactly what it was supposed to and what it promised. We had some annoying bad guys and Jason was good in it as always. That's exactly what you want from a movie like this. Nothing more, nothing less. Now at almost 2 hours long, maybe it could have been a little shorter. I think making movies around 2 hours or more is pretty risky, whether it's a comedy, action, pretty much anything. Because a lot of people these days are very impatient and have a very short attention span. And we're just used to scrolling and clicking and actually having to get your butt to the movies. That's very, very rare these days. Because most people are so lazy and they just want to sit on their couch in their living room and have everything come to them. Now personally, I love the experience of a movie theater. I don't care what anyone says, movies are so much better on the big screen. Especially if you have a soda in one hand, popcorn in the other, and even if you're being surrounded by complete strangers, together you're still sharing this experience of the movie. And unfortunately, that's something that starts to move away from our lives. And I think that's very sad. Also, there's nothing better than to take your girlfriend to the movies and see what might happen. And not just on the big screen, just like in the good old days. But unfortunately, that's not what people want anymore. And technology have sort of gotten in the way of all of that. Anyway, back to the film. Now another name in action, which is Sylvester Stallone and a good friend of Jason Statham, actually co-wrote the script with the director of the film, David Ayer. Now if there's one thing that Stallone understands, how to write and direct, it's action. So it would be fun at some point to see him write and direct a film with Jason in it. Which of course he's only done once, which was with the first Expendables. The movie A Working Man received mixed reviews from critics, but that's nothing new. And Rotten Tomato only gave it 51%, which I think is a minor insult. But what the hell, the critics in my mind, they don't really mean that much. What matters are the fans. And the movie had a $40 million budget, and so far it has grossed over $70 million. And when it recently opened, it had the #1 spot. So altogether, yeah, not too shabby. So to me it seems like Jason is back on top, and it'll be interesting to see if he will do another movie next year or so with the same director. Since they did The Beekeeper last year, that was a big hit, as well as this one that's also been received pretty well. So who knows about next year? You know, as they say, 3 times the charm. But so far so good. So when you add everything up, I would definitely recommend this movie. So guys, if you want some good kick-butt, old-fashioned action with modern technology and Jason right in the middle of it, go ahead, make my day and go check it out. Anyway guys, thanks for checking out this video, and please help support the channel by subscribing or at least liking the video. Take it easy guys. I'll see you next time.